Hey YouTubers, today we've got a Renault Clio. It's the version 3 and we're going to be doing the rear brake pads on it. Pretty straightforward. Hope you enjoy the video. So first things first, open the bonnet, loosen off the reservoir cap. Just put it back on gently. Right, let's get it in the air. I find these little pair of long nose pliers generally work well. Find that it's not over tight, of course. This one's very tight, naturally. Lovely. There we go. Yes, it's just like a have a little adapter in there. So there we are. Now we have to do the other side. Just get on the wheel bolts on a couple of turns. And give it a little smack from behind. Rubber, mallet. Then you won't do any damage to it. So we've got a bolt there that needs undoing and a corresponding one just at the top there. We have handbrake cable here. You see that? Which is there that we just disconnect. And then we should be good to get those brake pads out. So what I'll do is get a little screwdriver, pivot the handbrake back a little bit, and all you've got to do is up and out. You can't really see that from the top. That just comes up and out. Self-explanatory. So that's the handbrake cable off it. That sits in there. So just pivot that back a little bit, and then up and out with the cable. And then we have, let's drop it down a bit now. As I said, you have the bolt on the top here and one there. And these are, they're going to be 12s or 13s, they're 13s. We might have to put a spanner on there if it all turns, which it is. So we've got a thin spanner on there. That's a 15 in there. Just want that screwed back in a thread or two. And then we do the same for this other one here. Take that one right out. Yeah, take this one out. Now hopefully just wiggle this off. And just pull it to one side. And hopefully now see the brake pads. Definitely need the changing. Remember the orientation of them, so that's going to be the inner one. And that's the outer one. So pretty straightforward, to be fair. Now what we need, so the reason we opened up the brake fluid reservoir cap is because when we wind this bit back, it pushes back the brake fluid. I know a lot of people say you shouldn't do it, blah blah blah, you should open the bleed nipple, but how many vehicles with corroded bleed nipples that how many vehicles with corroded bleed nipples that snapped you come across? Well, I come across a lot. So the safest way is to wind it back and push it back through. So let's give it all a little clean up. Don't forget your goggles. Now I'm going to pull off the brake furniture, clean underneath that. And again, remember which is top and which is bottom. Be gentle with it, because you don't want to bend it out of shape. That's the top. This one will be the bottom, obviously. Just real gentle with it. And while I'm at it, I'll put out the two pins. Again, they're quite often different, so you need to keep the same orientation with them. So this one's bottom, this one's top. Now we can give this a clean up. To show the, as you know, my regulars know that these are my favourites. So you get your 4 pads in there. New bolts, but unfortunately you don't get the furniture in there. So we'll offer up the old and the new. Looks really good. So give the furniture a good old clean up, and I apply a little bit of copper grease to it. Again, just be a little bit careful you don't bend it all out of shape. I'll just clean that off. I think they've had a yoga class across the road this morning. So all the bits of the copper slip off the disc. And now we'll just give these a clean up. They're not in bad nick, to be fair. A little bit of brake grease. Just check that was the bottom one. Next we do the top one. Now what I like to do is, before we install the pads, we need to wind back that caliper. Right, can you see where I am here now? Let's get you a bit closer. So normally what I do is screw a little bit of WD-40, GT85 or whatever, just in between the rubber and this piston, so that when you wind it back, the rubber shouldn't twist so much. I mean, it probably will twist a little, shouldn't twist too much. Just get a pick or something similar, get under that rubber. Do your best not to split the rubber though. There we go. Now we're under it. Just give that a little squirt in there. Right, you can use a 2 or 4 adapter. I'm going to go with a 4 adapter first, see how we get on. And if you look at the orientation, you can't see the orientation. I'll try that. So if you look at that, these are kind of across the opening there. So try and get them back to the same place. They do pneumatic ones like these, but I've had this for so many years. It's kind of, I don't really want to replace it. It's the old trusty, but the time will probably come. There we go. Sometimes they can be a little bit tight. Don't go really nuts with them. Just take your time and let it go. Take your time, young man. You know what, I'm not liking that adapter that I'm using, to be fair. And that can quite often be the problem. It doesn't fit square, and this isn't fitting great. So let's try a different adapter, and we'll probably have an easier life. Better go with this one. It's slightly narrower. It's only 2, but that one was kind of not square. That's better. Yeah, it's little things like that that kind of make a difference. It wasn't that the piston was seized or anything. It's just that the adapter wasn't quite square on the end of the piston, so. Now we're going in there, and we can see, because we lubed up that boot, the little rubber boot there, it's not twisting up, so all's good. Not far off it now. And that is about it. Let's get the adapter off now. Now, if you remember, when we started, the notches were kind of in a cross, so we're not quite there. But we can just turn that now till we get to where we want to be. I mean, it doesn't really matter on these because there's nothing in the brake pads that it hooks onto, so to speak. But I just like to get it as it was when I took it off. Right, let's get them brake pads in. A little bit of copper slip in there. Hook that in, hopefully. Hook this one in. I'll just put a little bit of copper slip on top of these little springs there. So when you put the caliper back on, you just got to be careful to get those springs in place. We get one bolt in the top here first, and then we can compress it down there and get the bottom bolt in. New bolts with some locking compound on them, which is good. So just get that started with your fingers. Now, I should just be able to get that one started, with any luck. good there. Just make sure this one's kind of started okay. Yeah, it feels alright. I just wanted to make sure that wasn't crossed, so just go easy with them. We get it nipped up, and then we torque it to spec. Same with the top one. There you go. Oops. Oh, silly. Hold it on properly, eh? There we go. It's a bit of a silly idea, really. But we'll be alright. We'll be alright. He says. Yeah. Right, so we're good here. They're done. Disc is clean. Reconnect that handbrake cable next. Get yourself over. Look as we can see. Is that good? So, yeah, again, I'm going to push this down with a screwdriver and just hook that in. Right. Pull that down just a tad and hook that over the top. And then this in. What remains is to put the wheel on, do the other side, and then pump up the brakes. So I'm gonna get the wheel on and do the other side. You don't need to see doing the other side. It's identical. Right, so next thing I do, pump up, oops, pump up the brake. Then we'll check the brake fluid level. Which is spot on, just on the max. And that is done. So it's just a short video on showing you how to change the rear brake pads on a Clio version 3. This one's got the manual handbrake. I know some of them have an electric handbrake, which is a different process, but you know, for the ones with a manual handbrake, pretty straightforward stuff. If you like what I'm doing, please subscribe, like, hit the bell to get notified of new videos as and when they come out, and please leave comments and questions in the box below. Thanks for watching.